Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elizabeth. It's good to have you. Please consider subscribing and turning on your post notification bell if you are a crafter or just enjoy crafting videos. My goal at the moment is to have 2,000 of you lovely people subscribe to my channel. So please help me to achieve my goal so I can continue to bring you more crafting videos. Today I'm going to be showing you how I sew the Nooga Convertible hip bag. It can also be worn across the body like so. It has an angled exterior pocket which has some lovely embroidery on it. Check out that video. It has a zipper pocket at the back which can fit your phone quite comfortably. The main zipper pocket has an interior zipper for all those little essentials, and it has 6 card slots, so plenty of room to fit all your little bits and pieces. It's just a really lovely bag that fits comfortably around the body. And if you would like to see how I do this, stay tuned. Okay, so today I'm going to be sewing the Nooga Convertible hip bag by K. Dill Handmade. I will link the pattern in the description. So here are my pattern pieces I've already cut out. I'm using waterproof canvas for my exterior, and it's really thick, and some floral cotton for my lining. So if you haven't already, I will link this at the top somewhere. And I created this, I've got a video where I created this embroidery design, which I created using Embird, and it had quite a, the thing about this bag is it's got quite a nice plain panel that I thought would look nice with, you know, just to make it, brighten it up and give it a little something nice. So I'll link that so you can have a look at how I created that. So for this bag we need panel A, full panel. So I have 3 of those in the exterior here. So I've got one that's already cut out. It tells you how to cut that out in the pattern. So I have 3 of those for my full panel, and then I have 4 of the lining and 1 already cut out to match this. And oh yeah, I've also already sewn my label on there. The next thing is, well, you can see here that there is, it says C. So the B pattern, which is a zipper cover, I'm leaving off because I don't want to cover my zipper, because I think my zipper is really pretty and I want it to be shown. So the next pattern piece here is the card slot panel, and again it tells you how to cut this out, and it tells you how to fold it. All the measurements are on there, nice and straightforward. So I have that in my lining, and actually all my lining is interfaced with woven interfacing. My exterior, because it's waterproof canvas, the nice thing about it, I don't have to line it, so hooray, because it's not my favorite thing to do. Right. Then we have our card slot panel sides, that is in the lining fabric. We have our interior zipper pockets, we have 2 of those in the lining fabric. My side panel slots are card slots, there's 2 of those, forgot to mention. Then we have our ring connector in exterior, I have 2 of those, and I've marked the center of those ready for when I'm constructing. Then I have my zipper tab in the exterior. I've only cut out 2, the pattern does call for 4, but because the other two would be on the inside of the bag. I didn't think it would be necessary, so I'm just having 2 of those, but you can use the 4 if you want. And then I have my zipper end, just 1 of those, and my strap anchor piece, and I have 2 of those also. And these are just the ones that I cut out from here, so they're from here. In the pattern she gives you a measurement to cut these out, but I saw somewhere else that you can use these bits that you cut off from here to make these anchor pieces. Why not? So you're not wasting fabric. I've already created my strap, so you can use either webbing or you can create your own strap. So I've created my own strap here using the waterproof canvas, and this waterproof canvas is a really thick one. It's really stable, so that's why I thought I would use it for my straps, and I've already done this. If you'd like to see a video of how I make straps, check it out. It's on my channel. I don't think I'd bore you sewing a strap. It's pretty straightforward, but let me know if you want me to create another video showing you how to create a strap. And you can see here I used this thread here. It is absolutely beautiful. This is from Misfits Fabric, I think it's called. I'll link it. It's lovely. It's got this kind of like a ombre effect on it. Beautiful. Right, so we've got that. That's our strap, and then we've got 3 zippers here with zipper pulls already on it. Look at this. This is why I didn't want to put the zipper cover on there. Look at that. This is also from Misfits Fabric, and it's, I think it's the Galaxy, I think it's called. It is gorgeous. So I've got 3 of those in different sizes. As far as my hardware, I'm using gunmetal. So I've got 2 swivel, and they're all 1 inch. 2 swivel clasps. I've got 2 triangle connectors, strap connectors. I've got 1 slider, and I've got 4 rivets there, and this is going to be for attaching my straps. I think that's everything. I just wanted to say this is not a tutorial. I'm just showing you I would say I am a beginner bag maker, and I just want to take you through the process of how I create these bags, and hopefully if I can do it as a beginner, you can. I would say that this is a bag that can be created on your domestic sewing machine. I'm using Jackie here, which is my Jack H2 industrial sewing machine, but I think you can use a domestic sewing machine. You just have to be quite, you know, smart about what fabrics you choose. I wouldn't use like vinyls or anything. I would use cottons and try and keep the interfacing out of your seam allowance, and you should be able to sew it quite easily. So I think that's everything. Let's start. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is the front pocket zipper, and I'm going to be attaching my zipper tabs onto each end. So what I want to do is put it right sides together. Okay, so it's difficult to see, but there is a right and a wrong side. So I need to put right sides together. I'm just going to clip that with a clip on both ends. And then I'm going to sew along this end and that end, then flip it over and top stitch it. Okay, so that's that side done. So I've just sewn this side. Now I flip it over. So the right side is facing up. And I will now just top stitch that. Okay, so that's that one done. Right, next zipper. So for my top zipper, it's closing this way. So I've got my little zipper end here. So I'm folding it in half. I can mark it, but it's giving quite a nice crease there. And then I'm folding the ends in again. This is going to be tricky to sew, but let's try because it's such a tiny piece. I could put some double-sided tape to help me out. I might have to do that because it's just so tiny. Right, crease it, and then it's going to go on the end here, like that. Let's put some clips in just to hold that in place for now. And then I'm going to sew that in. Okay, right, that's done. Okay, so that's sewn in. Right, next. Okay, next we're going to deal with our ring connectors. So I've already got a line in the middle. So I'm just going to fold into that line. I don't think I need any double-sided tape for this part. Let's just hold that in place. And then fold the other side in to the middle. Give it a crease. Okay, I think that's okay. I might use my longer clips for this. Just like that. Okay. So this is what we want. And then I'm going to also do that to this one. Okay, now I'm going to just stitch along the ends here. So I'm going to do 2 stitches on both sides. Okay, pattern says you can do another row of stitching. Should I do another row of stitching? I mean, it would look nice. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Why not? Okay, so that's a little wonky, but it's fine. So I'm just going to do that to this one and I'll be back. So I have my strap connectors done. Here they are. So now I'm going to add my triangle connectors. Oops, I just dropped it. Here we go. So I'm going to be putting that so the wrong side is on the inside, so that's the wrong side, that's going to be on the inside, like that, matching up the short edges, and do the same for this one. Okay, I'm just going to baste this in place so it doesn't move. Okay, so those are basted in place. I've now got my strap anchor, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it so the right sides are touching. Fold it into a triangle. And then I'm going to put my strap inside like that, leaving a little bit on the edge so it's not butting up like that. That's not what we want, and we don't want it flush like this, so we want it about 1/2 inch and a little bit away from this corner here, like that. And I'm just going to measure this and make sure it is 1/2 inch. A little bit more. Yeah, about that. And then I'm just going to sew along this edge here. Okay, now I'm going to turn it inside out. Actually, I might just snip that bit just so that it sits nicely. So I'm just going to snip this a little bit, just here. And then turn it inside out. Hopefully that will sit better. Okay, so I've turned it out nicely and poked out those edges as much as I can, like that. I'm going to snip this bit off, I don't need it. Let's cut that bit off. Let's use proper scissors. There we go. Cut that off. Okay, and then I'm going to sew along here and here, and then close that bit off. Yeah, so sew here and then here, and then close it off. Okay, so that is both of them done. So those are the strap anchors done. Right, the next bit is to sort out the card slots. So I've already folded and pressed this just so it's easier for me to do. So I'm just going to top stitch along these 3 folds now up here. So if I move these out of the way, hopefully I can do that with ease. Yep. So I'm just going to top stitch along here. Okay, so I've changed to my regular foot now. So I'm just going to top stitch these folds. Okay, so that is it all top stitched. Just trying to flatten it a bit because it looks like it's bowing. I think the tension was a little bit off, but I'm just gonna go with it. I'm not gonna mess with any of these knobs. I'm leaving it alone. So that looks fine. Now I need to mark the center of this. So I'm going to mark the center. Okay, so I've marked the center now, and we're on to the next step. Now I'm going to sew along that line all the way down. So I'm starting at the top of the fold. Make sure I'm nice and centered. Okay, like that. All right, so that's that done. Okay, so this is our card slots. Okay, looks good so far. Right, next step. Okay, now I need to sew on my card slot panels. So with my card slots facing up, I'm going to put my side panels facing down, and I'm going to clip that in place. Okay, now I need to sew, and I think I'm going to do it this way so it doesn't move. I'd prefer it wasn't bowing like that. Okay, sort out this side. Okay, nice and flat. Right, I'm going to sew it down this way so that I don't move my card slots. I might sew it this way, just so that I can see this. Okay, and then I need to fold this bit over like so, and top stitch. Make sure I'm pressing it nice and flat, and my seam allowance is going this way. I'm now going to top stitch. Okay, so that's that side done. So I'm going to now do the other side. Okay, so this is my card slot panel done. I wish it was flatter. I think next time when I do this, I'm going to use the non-woven interfacing just to give it a bit more rigidity, and so we don't have any of this kind of like puckering. Also, my finished panel needs to measure 11 by 7, and it's a little bit short by about 1/4 of an inch. So I think it should be fine. It's a bit short, 1/4 of an inch this way. This way is fine. So that's done. Next step. Right, so I'm going to do my interior zipper pocket now. So I've got one of my panels. I'm going to put my pocket piece at the top, and that needs to be, let me just check the pattern. So it needs to be 1/2 inch from this top panel. So 1/2 inch. I need to mark my centers. Right, I've marked it here. Let me just quickly mark my centers here. I'm just going to give it a little pinch, and hopefully that will put a nice center mark for me. Okay, did that work? Kind of. I'm going to mark it with a pin. So here, I'm really kind of very fussy about this, and I need to be. I don't want any of this to be off in any way. This is all fabric pin, so it will come off. So right side's facing. I've already drawn my zipper box at the back. So I'm just matching my center line here to my center line of my main panel piece here. Right, that looks like it's in the middle. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin this in place just so it doesn't move. Okay, and now I'm going to just sew around this box. Okay, so that is done. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to snip in the middle and then create a little V. I'm just going to do that off camera and I'll be back. Okay, so I have cut the middle line and cut out these V parts of my zipper box, and now I'm going to take this and push it through to the back of my panel. Okay, so here's the back of my panel. I'm just going to take this to the iron and just press this flat, and then we are ready to attach our zipper. Okay, so I've pressed my zipper box open. Now I need to attach my zipper. So I have added some double-sided tape to the two sides. So I'm just going to lay that on top and try and center it as best as I can and get that stuck down. So I'm going to do the top one first, and I'm making sure my zipper pull is to the right. So now I'm going to stitch around this box and install the zipper. Pull in my threads to the back so I can tie it off. I don't want to do a back stitch in the front. Okay, so that is our zip installed. Now I need to turn it upside down and then place my other interior pocket piece on top of this one. And then I need to line up all the sides and clip that in place. So I might just start at the bottom here because my lining seems to have shriveled a little. Okay, so what I've noticed is it's a little bit, my panels are a little bit of a different size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just trim a little bit off. I think it was when I pressed it, it kind of shriveled a little. So I may need to just trim it just to tidy it up a little bit. What's it looking like on this side? So this side we can see it's a little bit off. So what I might do is I might just trim this a little bit. Or actually I can trim it after. So I'll trim it after I sew it. Okay, right. Now I'm going to sew around all four edges. I need to make sure I pull my lining away so I don't get that caught in there. Okay, so that is the zipper pocket done. I think the reason why my fabric kind of shrinked was this is quite thin cotton, so I think next time if I was to use this, I would either use a non-woven interfacing, which is more substantial, or use a heavy woven stabilizer. Because I got a lot of kind of movement and shifting. But that is the zipper pocket finished. It's quite shallow, it's just a small one. I'm just going to trim this top bit off because it's not necessary for it to be that big. Just taking some of the bulk off. Right, so that's done. Next part. So here I have my 4-panel lining and my 4-panel exterior, and I need to cut 2 inches from the top. So I'm just going to go and do that and I'll be back. Okay, so here we are. I've cut both of them. So we have a top, a bottom liner, bottom and top exterior. Okay, so I'm just going to take these away for now because we're just dealing with the bottoms. Okay, so I've got my exterior right side facing up. I'm just going to find the center of this quickly. Okay, like that. Right, so there's my center. I'm going to mark it with a pen actually. So, oh, that pen's not working. Okay, so there's the center there. I've marked the centers on the back of these already, so that's fine. I've also marked the center on my zipper, so I need to put my zipper, the one with the tabs, and it closing this way, so I'm going to flip it over like that, and I'm going to get the centers and align the edges and clip that in place. Okay, so here is what it's looking like. So now I'm going to just base this in place. I could be really lazy and just sew the whole thing. I'm going to be really lazy, guys, and just sew it all in one go. Right, so I need to put my lining right sides down and sandwich it. So I just need to find my center again, which is there. I may end up regretting being lazy, but let's have a go at being lazy. It might work. Being lazy might be more time efficient. Okay, I'm going to move my zipper to the middle actually. just to help me out a little bit. Right, so I'm going to now sew across this, and then I'm going to flip it over and do a top stitch. Okay, now we're going to press this back like so. Creasing it so we match up the edges like that. I might just clip these just to hold it in place, because I want everything lined up beautifully. Right, and then press this. The nice thing about this waterproof canvas is that it presses quite nicely, which is good. And now I'm going to just top stitch across this right here. Make sure that that bit is laying nice and flat, because my cotton fabric is a little bit of a nuisance today. Okay, right. Away. Okay, so that's that bit done. It looks a little bit wonky there. That sort of thing annoys me, but it is attached. Right, next bit. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is, I can remove these clips now. I need to get my little top panel that I cut off this bottom piece. I'm just going to find the centers. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to have this right side facing up, and I'm going to put my zipper tape, or my zipper panel now, on top of it and match the centers as best as I can. Okay, like that. Just make sure everything is kind of like lined up nicely. Then I need to lay this also on top, right sides together, so right sides down, and I'm going to just look for that center again, wherever it is. Where is it? It's right here, so I'm just going to match that center up there also. Right, so I'm basically going to do the same thing again as I did to the bottom panel. Okay, so here is our panel piece. I'm just going to trim this off because it's not needed, this extra tab piece here. Don't need this. pull it off so it's all lined up. Okay, right, now I am going to get my lining piece, my full lining piece, so this, and have it right side facing up, and I'm going to put that on top, line up all the edges and clip that in place, and then I'm going to sew all around. Okay, I'm just going to baste this shut, and the basting stitch is always a longer stitch. It's just to bring the two pieces together. Okay, so this is the main zipper pocket done. So we have that. It's looking good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just trim off this kind of excess liner here that's not needed. So I'm just trimming it close to my exterior panel, just to get it off. And up here as well, where it's kind of overlapped. Okay, I think that is fine. Lovely. Okay, so I have my slip pocket panel, the one with a beautiful butterfly on it. And I need to put that right side up and this right side down, so right sides together. So I'm just matching up all of the kind of like the angles here. Okay, so now I'm going to sew along this diagonal line. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and then I'm going to turn it inside out and top stitch. Okay, so I've sewn along both angles. I'm going to now turn this right side out. So like this, and make sure my lines are nice and straight and creased properly. I'm going to just clip down here because I want it to stay. It is fighting me a little bit, or rather fighting each other. They just don't want to line up and make a nice crease, but I will force them to, because they have to. Right, I need to top stitch, so in order to kind of keep this together, because they don't want to stay creased, they just don't want to, I'm going to clip it just so it stays while I'm top stitching it. Okay, so I'm going to do that same thing to the other side, and I'll be back. Okay, so I've attached my, I don't know what happened, the camera seemed to switch itself off. So my final panel piece here, I'm just attaching this angled piece on it, lining it up. So I've lined it up on the corners and the sides and at the top, and I'm going to be basting here and down here. And my stitch length from my basting stitch is usually about 5mm. Doesn't need to be super tiny because it's only a basting stitch. It's just to hold things together temporarily. So yeah. There are my two pieces basted together. Just snipping off these tails. Okay, right, what's next? Let me have a look at the pattern. So that's kind of like a little pocket bit there. Right, so I'm just going to have a look at the pattern and then we'll carry on. Okay, I'm ready to now sew in my strap anchors, and I need to put a mark from the top . Okay, and then I need to put my anchor so it's flush against this edge, but the top is by that mark I just made. So there, like that. And then I'm just going to clip that in place. Make sure it's aligned. I've got a little bit of an overhang here. I'm going to just trim that little bit off, just so it doesn't cause any issues. Okay, let's do that again. So line it with that mark, and I'm just going to clip it in place. With this edge here. Okay, that's that side. Okay, that looks good. And then this side, the same thing, lining it up with that mark. So now I'm just going to baste this in place. Right, so that bit is now done. Okay, what's next? Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to kind of taper off this zipper. So I've marked, I've already done this side. So I've already marked where I want my zipper to stop, right there. So I'm going to pinch where that line is, like that. And then fold it into the zipper teeth so that line meets with the zipper teeth, like that. So it's kind of like a 90-degree angle, just like that. Okay, so I'm going to, you can use the sewing machine, but I'm going to use a needle and thread because I find it a little bit fiddly. So I'm just going to tack this down. So this is a bit different from what she tells you to do in the pattern. I feel like I won't be able to do it successfully if I do it the way she says in the pattern. The way she says in the pattern is to just create these 90-degree angles as you sew it onto your panel, and I just feel like I need to do this first. It's just going to be easier for me, so that is what I'm doing. Okay, that's done. It's just a little tack. It's not, you know, anything too special. Let's just trim these bits off. Okay, so now that's done. Okay, it just stops your zipper from going any further, like that. So I'm going to get my scissors and just trim here so it's in line with the rest of the zipper tape. Like that. And then to stop it from fraying, I'm going to just singe the edges. Just stops fraying. Okay. I think that is good. Lovely. Right, now I'm going to take my zipper pocket. I've clipped my centers, and I think I need to mark my centers on this zipper also. So let me do that. Which way should I do it? Should I do it on the back? Yeah, let's do it on the back. So I'm just trying to find the center of my zip. And put a little mark there. Okay, there we go. Right, now I need to line this up, so this needs to go face down. I'm just going to check the pattern. Okay, right, so yeah, so I'm going to center this. She does do a measurement where you measure in from the edge, but I'm just going to use my centers just to make sure I have an equal amount on both sides. So I'm matching up my zipper pulls are on the same side. So I'm just going to clip this in place, and I'm going to not be lazy, and I'm going to sew this one at a time. So I'm going to do the exterior, and then I'm going to do the lining. I think it's best at this stage of the game. I don't want to mess anything up. So just matching those edges. One more, I think I'll put one of these there. Okay, so I'm just going to baste this in place now. Okay, so that is now basted on. Now I've got my card slots, and I need to sew this lining on. Make sure it's facing the right way, so my card slots are up the right way and not upside down. They seem pretty shallow. Let me test this out. Okay, they're not bad. I stand corrected. They are perfect. Perfect. Okay, fine. Right, so they need to be facing up, And I've clicked my centers here, so I'm just going to put it face down and align it with my center, which is here of my zipper. I can see it, and then I'm going to clip that in place and then sew it all together. And it was a good thing I wasn't lazy and basted it first, because it is easier to kind of just put everything together now at the top here. I'm actually going to unzip this because it's easier that way, I think. Yeah, it is easier to sew it anyway. Here we go. One more clip just there. Now I'm going to sew this now. I hope my bobbin's full, by the way. I haven't checked it, so I hope it's okay. Okay, so that's done. There we go. Lovely. Now I'm going to top stitch this, but leave my liner out of the way. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna top stitch it and leave my liner out of the way, so my seam allowance needs to go down, like that. Okay, right, so that is that bit done. Okay, so now I need to attach these two panels together, and I've still got my center on my zipper, so this is right side facing up, right sides together, so this side facing down. I'm gonna align my center and clippity clip, clip it all together. Okay, right, and I'm going to baste this on now. So unzip this a little bit. I'm going to baste this in place. So let's put it at a 5. Okay, right, now I need to get my zipper lining and put that right side down. Oh, I haven't marked my centers on this, so let's do that quickly. I might as well do it at the bottom as well. Why not? I don't think I need it, but it's always good practice to mark the centers. They never cause any harm. And it's fabric pen. Right, so I need to put this face down. Again, matching it up with the center, like so. And everything should line up really nicely. And let's clip that in place. See, I can feel my fabric getting really thick in places, and this is where the domestic sewing machine wouldn't have been able to cope with the fabric that I'm using. But this pattern can be done, as I said earlier, this pattern can be done. You just need to choose your materials wisely. Maybe a bit of cotton for exterior, and interior would work beautifully. Right, where is my zipper? I need to make sure that's out of the way. Right. That's a 3.5, and we'll just stitch this now. So I'm going to stitch that and I'll be back, because it's pretty much more of the same. So I'm just top stitching now on this piece that I've just attached. I'm making sure that my seam allowance is going that way towards the outside, and my lining is this way. The lining that I've just attached is out of this top stitching. Okay, and I had to be really careful that my connectors were out of the way, so I didn't sew over it. So be mindful when you're doing that. Don't want to sew over it and get a broken needle. That will not be fun. Right, let's get rid of all these threads, hangy threads. Okay, right, now that that's done, okay, so this is us, this is us, lovely. Oh, it's looking so pretty, I love it, I'm in love, I'm in love. It looks so, so pretty. I like that a lot. Okay, anyway, right, let's carry on. So we are going to put the lining together and the exterior. Before I do that, I need to unzip this because we need to be able to turn it. So unzip it halfway, and then I need to make sure this part is lined up, so the exterior is lined up. So we need to match those two sides. Add a clip. Right, I'm going to need lots of clips, so on that side and the other side. Okay, right, make sure this is also lined up, so we need to make sure. I'm going to pull this zip in the middle as well because I don't want anything hitting. Right, that's fine, there it is. Right, so lining up this side also. Okay, like that. That's got to match. That's the most important thing, is the two exterior sides have got to match up. Otherwise it'll be a disaster. Okay, right. Now I need to match up my interior, which is kind of off. It is a little bit off. It is quite a bit off. Let's see. No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Okay, so let's add clips here. All the way around. So I'm going to do this because it's going to take me a little while to do, because I need to be really precise and use lots of clips, which is what I do. So I'm going to clip all around, and then I'm going to sew, and I'm going to leave a turning hole in my lining. I'll probably leave about, I think the pattern calls for a 4-inch turning hole. So yeah, I might just, yeah, I'll leave probably about that wide at the bottom for turning. And when I stitch, so I'm going to use this normal seam allowance around the exterior, but when I get to the lining I need to increase it slightly, just so that the lining doesn't become baggy inside. So I'm going to clip this, and then I'll be back to show the final stitching. Okay, I am all clipped up, and I'm going to start sewing now. So here we go. This is it. Let me just check my bobbin actually. Let me check if I have enough bobbin, because if I don't, that would be a disaster. Let's see, will that be enough? It should be enough. It should be. So I was just checking my bobbin. I've got that much left. Fingers crossed I don't want to have to reel another one. So let's put that back in. Okay, right, let's start. Right, I was a little bit afraid that my bobbin had run out there, but it didn't. Yay! Okay, right. That is it sewn. Clip some of these corners just to help me with turning. So just trim a little bit off there, just so it's not a nightmare when I need to turn it. Okay, and then I might, because I don't like the way that looks, I'm going to trim that so it looks more even. And just snip a little bit of this corner too. It's just going to help me with turning. I'm not going to trim anything from the bottom, just the corner and a little bit off the sides. Just so it sits inside the bag nicely. Okay, so now is the turning time. Moment of truth. So I'm going to reach in, unzip it a little bit. Okay, right, let's start pulling this through. Here's what it looks like so far. I'm just going to fine tune poking at the edges and getting it all nice and flat, and then I'll be back. But it's looking good. It really is looking good. Okay, so I have tried to poke out all the corners using my chopstick tool. That's about as much as I'll be able to poke at the corners, and it's given it a little bit of a kind of rounded edge there, but I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that part. Just make sure everything's nicely poked out. Okay, so I think it looks really pretty. It's bigger than I thought it would be. I thought it'd be smaller, if I'm being honest with you. I really thought it'd be maybe at least an inch smaller. I don't know why I thought that. Anyway, so now it's time to sew up this opening at the bottom. So I'm just going to poke it out, poke the corners out of the lining. And then sew that opening shut. Okay. Right, so I can just match these edges together now. Okay, we could tuck that back in there. And there we have it. There's the inside. So I have a little zip pocket there. And then I have my card slots, and it's big enough to fit. It's quite big, as I said. I didn't think it was going to be this big. Big enough to fit your phone in there. And you've got another little pocket here, which is also handy for keeping things. And I think my phone can fit in there. Let me try it out. Yep, my phone fits in there quite nicely. It's nice and big pockets. So the last thing I need to do now is attach the straps, and then this is done. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I put my strap together. And basically the strap is just, it was 4 inches wide. I folded the sides into the middle and then folded it again to get a 1 inch strap. So I'm just going to get my slider here and put it on one end of my strap, like so. So I'm happy with that amount of the strap on this end. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch across. Initially I was just going to put 2 rivets in, but I am just going to stitch across and then put 1 rivet in just to make it secure. So then the next thing that needs to be done is I'm going to take the strap. So I'm just going to put this together and then I'm going to sew it all together. So I need to get my strap, so my strap is this way up, like that. And then I'm going to get, making sure it's nice and straight and not twisted, I'm going to put my swivel in this way. And then I'm going to pass it back through. So here is the end of my strap. I'm going to pass it through my slider and then back down. Okay, so this is what we have so far. So this is what we have so far. So on one end, I've got my swivel clasp, and then I've got my slider. And then on this end here, I'm going to put my other swivel clasp with it this way. So pass it through. And then fold it over, and then I'm going to stitch across and then put one rivet through. So I'm just going to go and sew those two ends down, so these two ends, and then I'll be back to set the rivets. Okay, so I have stitched it into place. I'm now going to set it with a rivet. So I've got my Japanese punch here, and I'm just going to put a rivet, try and get it in the middle. So about there, possibly. Just give myself enough clearance to actually put the rivet in. So about there's in the middle. Okay. I need to go a bit more because it's quite thick. Okay, so there's my hole. I'm going to push my rivet through. And pop the other cap on. And then I'm going to set that in place. And then this one, a little bit more challenging because it's on the inside. Okay, and I've got my hand press here, so I'm gonna set it in place. That's one done. And this one. And that's that done. So that's set into place now, and now I can attach it onto the bag. Like so. And that's it. That is how I put my strap together, and that is the bag finished. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Really, really happy. So, if you found this video interesting or useful, please like and subscribe if you haven't yet done so, and turn on your post notification bell and make sure you check all so you never miss an upload from me. Please feel free to interact with the comment section by leaving any comments, questions, or any suggestions about any videos that I should do in the comment section below. You're also welcome to join our Facebook group. It's Craft Junkie Studio, and I will leave the link in the description box below. And as always, don't have a good day, have an amazing day.